the right calling for, a call to arms and for action, more aggression to be out in the streets.
I'm so tired of pretend celebrities doing this kind of shit. In this case, I'm referring to Ricky Schroder, seen here posing with Kyle Rittenhouse, who he just helped get bailed out of jail. He was on one sitcom and then the cover of Tiger Beat magazine multiple times. And now he's become just this far-right psychopath who made this video the other night.
I'm sitting here in disbelief of what our world is turning into in front of our very eyes. No one's going to stop it but us. So, this Veterans Day, 11/11, let's stop it. Too many good people have fought and died for this country. For us to let it go without fighting. And I don't see how the system that created this is the system that can fix this. This country is going to need rebuilt. This government will need rebuilt. So this Veterans Day, let's take our country back. I think what we have to do is stand up the militia. Whoever feels that they're part of the militia needs to stand up on Veterans Day. And you need to gather, you need to muster. Muster at your post office in a small town, muster at City Hall. Get your friends and muster. And a show of force is what we need to do right now. This is our country. We're going to fight for our country.
He is calling for the violent overthrow of the American government by militias. This guy calls himself a patriot, but says the government that exists needs to be replaced. Not the politicians, the government. You're not a patriot. That's treason. And he's telling militia members to start at their local government level on Veterans Day, to go there, armed, and take the government. If there's even one incident of that anywhere in the country on Veterans Day, Ricky Schroder needs to be arrested and charged along with the people who did it.
What's my guy's name right there? This doing the explainer, Michael what?
Michael Mick.
Michael Mick.
MC, I believe.
He's, I like him. You're not a patriot. That's treason.
I love him. Yeah.
That was good. Bro,
so this guy
man.
helped bail out Rittenhouse.
Yeah. It's all connected,
and that's Ricky Schroder from Silver Spoons.
You got it.
What?
What
that loser?
I'm not familiar with the show, but yeah, apparently he did some kind of sitcom.
I got more airtime than him. What is it? Why are people following this guy until Revolution?
Because you got to understand, you don't remember Silver Spoons?
I remember Silver. I mean, I remember I used to like it. I don't remember a whole lot more than that.
Because that's gonna eat up all them. Never mind. I digress. I digress.
The message doesn't stop there. Let's go to Dan Bongino. I think that's how you pronounce this guy's name.
Dan, this old test
steroids. And then James, I'm gonna bring you up to speed on your notes so you know where to come into the story. F2.
Okay. All right. Dan Bongino. Bagana? Baloney?
These people are animals, ladies and gentlemen. They are savages. They are eager to punish you and destroy you. They will do it. It is time for mass civil disobedience on a scale we haven't seen. They cannot come for all of us at the same time. It's not possible. I spoke to Steve Deace yesterday on my radio show. He made a great point. Elections aren't enough to fix this. Until we get through in the American psyche that is more of us than them, and they work for us, that's a fact. That is a fact. And until there is mass civil disobedience in protest for freedom and liberty elsewhere, none of this is going to stop. Make them feel it.
I am impressed with how crispy his bald ass tape line is, though. Like, I've never seen a tape line go back that clean, and like, because normally when they back that far back, it's like, no, but his baldness is crispy.
And he looked like Dr. Mac a little bit.
Don't you do Dr. Mac like that?
I mean, he looked like a young Dr. Mac when Dr. Mac was like in his young age, just still out there macking, you know.
Hey, brother Mac, brother Mac been a soldier since he was 18, bro.
Right.
Dan Bongino, whatever the hell this man's last name is. They like to fancy themselves to be hard. That's fine. You guys could have the claim to that toxic masculinity of, all that toughness you're trying to.
Oh yeah.
Because if it leads you all dummies to marching up the steps of the Capitol on January 6th, and now these dummies are sitting in jail crying that they're political prisoners, no, you committed treason, moron. Follow Dan all the way to treason. I mean, obviously, I know what you're getting at, David. The violence here, the violent rhetoric. I guess it's the violent rhetoric I'm kind of desensitized to because this is how they've been talking for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that man forehead big as hell though. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Look at how crispy it's going back. That's like an 8 head.
That's an 8 head. You could show a whole movie on that damn thing.
Hey, and it's reflective as hell.
Damn your head big.
Super quick. But isn't that kind of what they're counting on? Is for us to sort of get used to them talking like this? Because honestly, like I'm still shocked from January 6th, right? That
good on you, man.
The impact of that should have been far more than it was, but it wasn't as much as it should be because we're all just like, oh yeah, violence. Like it's like we're watching like a movie or something. It's not real to us, you know?
Yeah, to be sure, we are frogs in the pot on the stove, and I would say the temperature is probably a good 8 or 9 out of 10. I mean, we've since long needed to address these clowns very directly. I'm not advocating for meeting them in the streets because that's not how we win. But they are a problem of a significant order. And I don't believe, to your point, Tunde, I don't believe that the federal government is responding to this kind of violence threat the way they should. And that's because they actually think they being the military, the American empire, the infrastructure, the executive branch, the legislative branch, all the power levers, the bureaucracies, they still are making their bed with white supremacy. Because otherwise, they would be chasing these people out. If it was black folks on January 6th, we would be dead where we stood. The reason these people aren't even being arrested is because America agrees with them.
Well, and that's the thing, man. It's trickling into communities. Like it's actually showing up more and more and more, which pulls James in to the story that he had highlighted and forgotten about.
Yeah, and when you brought it up, I was like, oh, I remember now. But it needs to be talked about. It does, to be talked about.
And it's not directly connected, but it's blatantly racist, and so it does connect with like just the messaging that everyone's taking in, not everyone, but that communities are taking in, and that people
it is just before you run that and talk about
it's not a clip, it's just a graphic, but yeah.
It is most certainly trickling down. That's the only thing that's trickling down. Wealth has not trickled down. This hatred has. Go ahead, James.
Yeah. So this next story, Tunde, I know you put the clip up. If you want to run it as what is it?
It's just a graphic. It's just a still.
B-roll, yeah. It's just a graphic, yeah.
So I'm gonna read this to you. Rest in power, Isabella Faith Tinchinor, who's a 10-year-old autistic girl who committed suicide after racial bullying. According to the Salt Lake City Tribune, Davis School District has intentionally ignored serious and widespread racial harassment in the schools for years, failing to respond to hundreds of reports from black students after they have been called slaves, the N-word, and heard threats that they would be lynched, according to a jarring report from the U.S. Department of Justice. Those intentionally failure to respond to ignored racial harassment complaints has now led to an autistic student to commit suicide. In a statement written by Brittany Tichenor, our daughter, Isabella Faith Tichenor, was mocked by a teacher and some students. The abuse was reported to teachers, the administration, and the district administration. Nothing was done. The children continued to mock this young child day after day until she committed suicide yesterday. An SL Tribe article also reports May 2019, Davis School District drew national attention when the family of a biracial boy who went to school there filed a lawsuit about how the boy was purposefully shut indoors of a school bus by the driver and left dangerously dangling. I remember that. Dangling outside as he drove forward.
Wow. Man.
10 years old.
Brother. There's a couple of routes that we could obviously go in this conversation. I mean, there's the natural inclination of reciprocity and that kind of thing. But that's not my thoughts right now. My real thought is that there's so many tragedies that happen naturally as a matter of course. We die, we get old, car accidents. It's just so many things that happen for us to be adding to those tragedies. And this is one of those added to. This little sister should be alive right now. But because of some sick human beings, our sister is not here. Now, I will say this very full-throatedly. That's why I'm not sending my kids back to these school systems ever again. Ever. Right, and in a hot second, I'm going to advocate for us to never send our kids back to these schools.
Dude, and I'll tell you, my niece, actually the one that's in the hospital now, when she was in school, sister sent her to school when she's, I want to say kindergarten or first grade. There was a little boy that was there that was harassing her the whole time. My sister went to the school, talked to the teacher, went all the way up the line. They did nothing about it. And it was one day she went and the little boy hit her. So that day, my sister withdrew her out of school, and she homeschooled her kids because these schools don't care.
Man,
you can go tell them this stuff all the time, and it's just like they turn the other cheek. Oh, it's nothing. It's just harmless. It's just harmless play. They're in elementary school. Everything's gonna be fine. No, it's not. If I come to you with to take it serious, this is my damn child. You need to take this serious as I do.
As we're all getting numb to like everything getting bolder just because, well, it's not stopping and nothing's changing. Eventually it's going to get to it. I mean, it already is at a dangerous point, but it's just.
Well, it always, see, and this is the thing, like people always, okay. All right. I'm back on the clock. Here we go. People try to sever the cause from the effect. With Kyle Rittenhouse, in order for him to get away with murder, they have to separate the fact that he was the cause, right? They have to separate the fact, say, oh, he was self-defense. No. It's not self-defense if you take yourself into a fist fight with a gun and get your ass beat anyway and then end up having to kill somebody. No, you created that ass whipping that you got. But America is so really good at severing the cause from the effect, and so is with this little precious child, right? The cause is that we are in a system that breeds cruelty, that breeds this type of laughter and joking at the expense of the least of these. Why is it that our laughter comes at the expense of the least of these? To the point where our babies are killing themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And real quick, Ben, I'm going to put this number out here, and I'm sure David will put it in YouTube for me. Contact David Schools and put some pressure on their neck. Yeah. So this is part where we act. Let's act.
That's right.
Call 801-402-5261. 801-402-5261. Reach out to the Department of Justice to add pressure for more to be done within this district.